Hi, everyone. This is Kristen Kramer with Girl Friday Virtual Office, and it is time for Makin Bold Moves Monday. It's late in the day on this Monday. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon on my end. And, most of us, if we have kids in the household, they've returned to school, thankfully, right? And this might be the first day or close to the first full week that you've had your office to yourself and really been able to focus on work and not be pulled in different directions. Some of the schools in my area started last week, so a few folks have several days head start on those of us here on the Missouri side. But what did you do today? That's my question. Late in the day on a Monday, this is typically for most people is a day where you sort of get situated for the week. You hit urgent deadlines, you start mapping out projects and touching base with clients. And it's kind of an administrative day in my mind, Mondays are, because you're still getting into the flow of the week. So the question is, of course, what did you accomplish today? Did you accomplish everything you planned on accomplishing? If so, fantastic. Kudos to you. Give yourself a gold star and put that on your brag board because that's a win. And if you didn't, what derailed your plan? So I will tell you, I'll make a quick confession. I didn't get as much done today as I thought I was going to get done. Again, first day back in the office full time. And, I always had these grandiose plans of everything that I'm going to knock out. And I don't even know that I actually touched the planned list today. So shame on me. And this is where I'm going to use my dad's quote and say to you what he used to always say to me as a kid: do as I say, not as I do, because I'm setting a very bad example today. So what happened? What happened that derailed me? Well, nothing really happened to me. I just failed to stick to the plan, mainly because I came into this day without a plan. So that's kind of embarrassing, given that what I do for clients is build out systems and procedures to help everybody achieve the plan. And I'm not following my own advice. So tomorrow, new day, resetting this afternoon. And here's how I'm going to do that. And this is a technique that may help you. When you get to the end of your workday, and hopefully you've set a hard end time for work. So be that at, 5 p.m., 6, 7, whenever it is, you need to have a time when you are clocking out, so to speak. Because when you work from home, as many of you have probably experienced over the last year and a half, when you're working from home, especially if you're an entrepreneur running your own business, there really isn't a solid boundary, right? When I worked in the corporate sector, that commute home from work was sort of the transition mentally for me. And you don't have that when you work from home. You don't have that when you run your business out of your home. So it's very, very easy to not have a set end time to your workday. And it's very easy to keep working off and on through the evening. Maybe you make dinner, then you check your email and do a couple more things, or you remember that you needed to build out something. And so you go work on that for a few minutes. You're like, just knock this out real quick. So when you do that, you don't have that solid end time for work. A couple of things, of course, are going to happen to you, right? One is you don't really ever stop working. So you don't take time to decompress from the day, sort of separate your thoughts, slow them down and switch from work to personal. And the other thing too is that, personally, you're not very present in the moment with the folks that you're spending the evening with. And trust me, they notice. So one of the techniques you can use to, make sure that you hit the ground running and have, an idea of what you need to focus on through the week is at the end of each workday, or, if you're working on the weekends, that sometimes happens. At the end of the day, take 20 minutes or so and, go through your calendar, map out any planned appointments that you have or that you've needed to add to, your calendar that maybe got added on, today. And then look at the deliverables that you've promised to your clients. So this always comes first because you want to make sure that you're following through on the promises that you've made to colleagues, peers, mentors, clients, prospects, all of those folks, right? You want to follow through and keep your word. And to do that, you have to have on your radar what you've promised to do. So take the last 20 minutes of the day. If you need a little longer, that's fine too. But when you have that hard end time, you can block off a portion of your schedule to go through this exercise at the end of each day. And again, write down your schedule for Tuesday, for example. So before I quit this evening, I'm going to pull out my Panda planner. I love my Panda planner. And I'm going to make a note of all of the things that are on my calendar, planned appointments for tomorrow. I'm going to make a note of, the high priority items, the musts that have to happen, the musts that must happen, for the deliverables that I promised. So in my Panda planner, there are 5 slots, for projects. And then below it, there's a section where you can break those projects out into, the smaller tasks. It doesn't give you a lot of space to do that. And I think it's purposeful because we really don't want to overload ourselves. We want to keep it, to 1 to 3 major projects or major focuses each day. And the reason you want to do that is because as much as we like to tell ourselves that we can multitask and, that's what we do, we just sort of, cover all bases simultaneously at the same time, our brains are not designed to do that. And you can look online and, look it up. There's plenty of scientific data on this about how long it takes you to get back into the flow if you're interrupted, how, our brains are not designed like computers and we are not wired, so to speak, for multitasking. And there's even scientific data showing how much more productive you can be if you just focus on the task at hand, get it done, and then move on to another task. So at the end of the day, I want you to, if you're not already doing this, if you are, fantastic, that's amazing. And you get another gold star. But if you're not doing it and you're experiencing a lot of days where you're like, I don't know what the fuck I have done all day. I was busy, but I've got nothing to show for it. If you're having a lot of those moments, then this is a technique that you can use to walk into the next morning with a plan already laid out. So now you don't have to sit down at your desk in the morning and spend an hour trying to figure out what you should be working on or what to start on. Okay. And then you have to stick to the plan, right? So it's not enough just to put the plan together. You have to promise yourself, just like you would a client. We're usually really good about keeping our promises to our clients and really bad about keeping our promises and commitments to ourselves. So treat yourself as you would a client or your best friend, and stick to the plan. And that can be hard, but if you have boundaries, laid out and you've been clear about communicating what those are, it's a little easier. And we can talk about that another time. In fact, if you're interested in talking about boundaries and some of the boundaries that I have set in my day-to-day business life, and, how to go about doing that and communicating it, please let me know. I'm happy to do a session on that. But this evening, again, your assignment, homework, is to set a quitting time. So let's say it's 6 o'clock in the evening. At 6 o'clock in the evening, I am done with work. I'm going to close all of my applications on my computer. I'm going to leave my computer open so that if that Microsoft update comes across overnight, it will install and I won't be dealing with that in the morning. But you're going to close all of your applications and you're going to be done for the day. Just like if you worked in a traditional job, I would be done with my day, get in my car and make my commute home. And you can even go so far as to build in sort of a pseudo commute for yourself. Maybe it's taking, 15 or 20 minutes to meditate. Maybe it's taking 15 to 20 minutes to just stare at a wall and not have anyone talking to you, which would sort of be like meditating. 15 to 20 minutes to journal, something like that, something that you enjoy, or just to, maybe you play solitaire, or I have a new game that I'm totally addicted to. It's really bad. And I love it. It's so much fun. Maybe take 15 to 20 minutes to play a game on your phone, whatever it is, but take 10 to, 15, 20 minutes, just like if you were commuting home from an office, and have a mental commute, we'll call it that. And then, continue on with your evening so that you're truly present and engaged in the activities, the conversations, and the people that you're interacting with in your personal life at home. And, you have more moments. All right. You're building moments for everybody. And then tomorrow morning, you will come in, you'll already have your schedule plotted out. It'll be, all done. And you won't have to sit there and think, oh, what am I going to do? But make a commitment to yourself to stick to the plan, because this is key. Once you start, negotiating with yourself and deviating from the plan that you put together the night before, this is where you start to get into the weeds and you become very distracted. And then pretty soon, before you know it, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you're like, holy shit, I didn't do anything that's on my list. So, be sure that you're taking the time to plan appropriately, and don't do what I've done in the past, which is to like block everything like back to back to back to back to back. There's a technique, the Pomodoro technique, where you work in time blocks for like 30 or 40 minutes. You get done as much as you can in that time frame. Set a timer for yourself if you want to. And then you have a short break. And then you go right back into another workflow or time block. And again, maxing it out at like 40 minutes or so. And you can also look that up. That's a real thing. So there are lots of techniques to help you manage your productivity throughout the day. And, again, we aren't designed to multitask. Trust me, I consider myself the queen of multitasking, truly, but really when it comes down to it, I get a lot more done if I just focus on the task at hand before I move on to something else. And if I limit my interruptions, be it with phone calls, checking emails, social feeds, family needs, dogs needing to go outside, cats wanting to be fed, whatever. If I can limit those distractions, I get a lot more done through the day. So give this a try. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want to talk about it further. I can work with you on a technique and setting up a process and procedure, sort of a system for you to follow each day. And if you're interested in that, let me know that as well. But I would love to hear what you already have in place to help you with your productivity and plan for the next day. If you have something in place that's different than what I've described, I would love for you to share that with us. We, have the most success in collaboration, so let's collaborate. Or if you have questions about anything that I mentioned, please don't hesitate to drop me a question, DM, or comment, and I will be happy to explain further. Or like I said, we've got WTF Wednesday coming up. That'll be at 3 p.m. Central, if you want to check that out. And I can even go into more detail about it on WTF Wednesday. So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a fantastic evening. And I can't wait to hear what you guys think and what you're doing in your own day-to-day lives to manage your productivity. I'll talk to you soon.